Strange question, isn't it? Especially since I haven't explained what yours is. But bear with me. By the end of this talk, I'm going to ask you that question again, and I'm hoping that it will mean something entirely different. So, if you're okay, I'll start from the beginning. I'm writing this while sitting on the MTR in Hong Kong, not the metro. I've already been corrected on that. The MTR. I'm on the Chun Wan line, which I think is the red line. It's spelled TSUEN, one line. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm watching the stations on the screen, hoping that I don't miss my interchange again from Lo Wu, so I can get to Shenzhen. After that, Seoul, and then Tokyo. And if anybody asks, I've got a plan, especially if my mum asks. And somewhere between Central and Kowloon, I started thinking about that version of myself that thought life could fit into one simple sentence. I just want to be a lawyer. That was it. The dream, the plan, the personality, the destination. If you'd asked me years ago who I was, I wouldn't have mentioned curiosity, I wouldn't have mentioned adventure, I wouldn't have mentioned a search for joy. I would have said, I'm going to be a lawyer. Because I thought that once I achieved that goal, my life would finally begin, and I would find my value. I thought becoming a lawyer would feel like arrival, like completion. And maybe some of you know that feeling well. The belief that if you could just reach one thing, one title, one achievement, one version of success, then every single thing that you sacrifice would make sense. That is living in a square. A life defined by one single coordinate. For me, becoming a lawyer wasn't just ambition. It was identity, a proof that I was capable, and I fought for it. Through the exhaustion, through the self-doubt, through the closed doors, through moments where I questioned whether I was enough, particularly if I was smart enough. And eventually, I did it. I am a lawyer. The thing that I spent eating, breathing, sleeping finally happened. And then something unexpected happened. Life kept going. Not dramatically, just quietly. The sun still rose, I still had fears, I still had to figure out who I was outside of what I did. And what I realized is this. Achieving the goal did not end my becoming. It actually introduced me to it. Because here I am now, traveling alone in Seoul, traveling like a backpacker would, only with a hard suitcase and a concierge. Navigating the city, taking trains I still mispronounce, trying food cautiously with my EpiPen tucked in my purse. The perks of being an allergy kid. Communicating through fragments of language I learnt on Duolingo, gestures, courage, and a lot of smiles. And strangely enough, I feel more myself here than I ever did chasing the one thing that I thought would define my life forever. One night, when I was shopping in Shenzhen, I missed the last MTR. No clear route, no plan, alone. Well, actually, the taxi driver was there, but he couldn't explain to me where to go, not in a language that I understood. So he showed me the only way he could, hands cutting through the air, gesturing through the windscreen, down this street. I hadn't noticed it before. The building, go the hands, like trust my hands. That's what he was saying to me. So I went, I crossed the first street, then another street, past the traffic, cycling through the colours of the traffic light, past buildings that looked like they'd been there longer than the city itself. The noise pressed close, horns, voices, a particular heat that felt so foreign to me. And I followed those hands like a compass, and eventually those hands led me to Kay. It was by no accident that Kay was in the exact place and at the exact time that I needed her. Kay helped me to get back to Hong Kong safely, thank God. But the one thing that stayed with me wasn't her directions, even though I clearly needed them. It was what she said to me. She looked at me. This girl, traveling alone, no Mandarin, no clue what she's doing. And she said, "You're so calm." And I was. What she couldn't know was that stillness was not for free. It was made, and it was not given. It was shaped by every single moment I had to hold myself together when falling apart would have been so much easier. That calm was forged, and I wear it quietly every single day. That's how I navigate every single detour. When your father passed away, you felt sorry for yourself. Not my words. Not actually a stranger's words. They are easier to dismiss. Someone proximate enough for those words to deeply sting. But unfortunately, cancer doesn't announce itself politely. It doesn't give you time to prepare. It just arrives, and then it takes slowly, then abruptly, and then completely. Suddenly, I was thrust into roles I did not audition for. This was not a drill. Litigator, navigating legal processes I'd studied, but this time it was live, and also it was international. Executive of an estate. Life forced me to become the leader the family needed. I was expected to hold things together, to make decisions, to be the one who knew what to do, even when I didn't know what to do, all whilst carrying a grief so heavy that I could barely even breathe. Having experienced that, my first reaction was devastation. And then it was anger. How could somebody belittle what I had been through? How could they think that it was just self-pity? Now, here's the thing. Not every person who shapes you was meant to be kind to you. Some were meant to stretch you, and that in itself is a gift if you allow it to be. Now, for me, that comment did not break me. It freed me. Because in being so profoundly misunderstood, I was forced to become my own source of understanding. That moment right there, that's when the sixth was born. Not in comfort actually in the complete opposite of it. That is what it means to go beyond squared, to outgrow the framework that you once built. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." I can see you looking around. Who are your 5? And he was right. The 5 people you spend the most time with do shape your habits, your ambitions, your sense of who you are, and also what is possible. But Ron's framework works on the assumption your 5 have the capacity to meet you where you are. And there are moments in your life so profound where the grief and the loss is so deep that it has no floor, that your 5 cannot go with you. Not because they don't want to, but just because they are not, or they weren't equipped with the capacity to match what you already have. The 6th is built in moments when your circle cannot reach you, when life takes you somewhere so profound that you have no choice but to go there alone. It demands a willingness to sit with pain so numbing, to examine your beliefs under pressure, to ask who you are and who you need to become, not when things are comfortable, but precisely when they are not. And it comes with its own home truth, that not every single person you're around has the capacity to meet you where you are. And once you understand that, not with bitterness, but with true and equivocal understanding, you free yourself from the most exhausting cycle there is, seeking from those who were never meant to have the capacity to give you what you already have inside. The people around you do shape your edges. They influence you, they challenge you, they leave their mark on you. And that is not a small thing. But the 6th is the self that is forged through the fire of your hardest moments and is the only part of you that is unequivocally, unambiguously yours. It cannot be borrowed. It cannot be given. It can only be built. That is what lies beyond squared. Not simply going further, not simply enduring more, but arriving on the other side of the unimaginable as someone your former self would not immediately recognize. The 6th is not someone you find. The 6th is someone you become. Now, you may have come here today thinking you were looking for something. And I want to suggest that it has been waiting inside of you all along. In the losses, in the silences, in the detours, and in all the moments that broke your framework and asked you to build a new one. So, I will leave you with the only question that matters. Have you met your 6th yet? Before I leave the stage, I want to say thank you, the only way that feels honest to me. From my travels in Hong Kong, Ngoi. From my travels in Seoul, Gamsamita. From my travels in Tokyo, Arigato gozaimasu. From my travels in China, Sheshe. And from my home, Shukran la hidirikum. Thank you.